Hi, welcome to English Hamster. Are you learning English? Great. Here we learn through stories. They are simple and interesting. You can improve English while learning knowledge. Remember to subscribe, like and comment. Let's get started.
Have you ever stayed quiet when you really wanted to speak? Maybe you were in a meeting, a class, or talking with friends. Someone asked a question. It wasn't a difficult question. You knew the answer. You were sure of it. But still, your mouth stayed shut. You felt your hands get cold. Your heart beat faster and faster. The words were inside you, but they didn't come out. Later, you asked yourself, why didn't I just say it? Why did I freeze again? Why can't I speak like other people? If this has ever happened to you, then you are not alone. So many people feel this way. The problem is not your English. It's not because you're not smart enough. It's because no one taught you how to speak when you're under pressure. No one showed you how to stay calm when all eyes are on you. And no one gave you the tools to think fast when you need to speak the most. In fact, the world often teaches us the opposite. From a young age, we are told, think before you speak, or don't say something stupid. When we make mistakes, people laugh. When we get the grammar wrong, people correct us. So slowly, we learn one thing: speaking is risky, and silence feels safer. But what if that moment of fear, when you couldn't speak, was not a weakness but a sign? What if it was a message saying, it's time to change? It's time to learn how to trust your voice, because you already have the ideas. You already have the words. You just need to learn how to bring them out clearly, confidently, and quickly. That's what this article is about. Let me tell you something that many teachers never tell you. If you often forget your words, freeze in the middle of a conversation, or feel nervous when you need to speak English, the real reason is not a language problem. It's a thinking problem. It's a mindset problem. But the good news is it can be fixed. And today, you'll start learning how. You will learn how to train your brain to stay calm, how to think faster when you speak, and how to feel confident even when you're nervous. Let's start with something important. Why is it so necessary to think fast and speak smart in today's world? Let's be honest. In many situations, like interviews, business meetings, school presentations, or just daily conversations, people don't always remember everything you say. But they do remember how you made them feel. They remember if you spoke with confidence or if you sounded unsure. If you want others to take you seriously, if you want to be respected, and if you want to express yourself clearly, you need to speak with both speed and clarity. This skill is not just helpful, it's essential. Imagine this: two people go to a job interview. One of them knows a lot, but when he talks, he hesitates, uses filler words like or and takes too long to explain his ideas. The other person may not know everything, but they speak with calm, strong words and clear structure. Who will the company choose? Most likely, the one who speaks clearly. Let's look at a real example. A young man walks into a room to present his new app to a group of investors. He doesn't start with numbers. He doesn't begin with boring details. He looks them in the eye and says, "Let me tell you something in 60 seconds that could change 10 million lives." Everyone goes silent. They are now listening carefully. Why? Because his message is sharp and full of purpose. And in the end, he gets the investment. Not just because of his idea, but because of how he spoke. That's the first big reason to learn how to speak smart. You make a strong first impression. People see you as confident and clear, and they want to hear more. Now, let's talk about another reason. What happens when you are under pressure? Maybe someone asks you a question in a meeting. Maybe your teacher calls your name. Maybe a client challenges your idea. In those moments, your brain doesn't have time to prepare. You need to think quickly and answer with confidence. Many people fail in these moments. They start talking but go off track. They forget what they were going to say, or they say nothing at all. But people who can stay calm, who can think fast and choose the right words, they lead the conversation. A few years ago, during a leadership event, someone asked a famous CEO, "How do you deal with failure when everyone is watching?" The CEO didn't panic. He smiled and said, "I don't manage failure. I manage my mindset. That's what turns failure into feedback." His answer was short, but it was strong. Everyone in the room clapped. The clip of that answer later went viral online. Why? Because he didn't give a long speech, he gave a clear thought. So thinking fast is not about talking fast. It's about thinking clearly and choosing your words wisely. Part 1: Why you struggle to think fast or speak smart, and how to fix it. Many English learners feel stuck. They can read well, they know many grammar rules, they understand others most of the time, but when it's time to speak, something strange happens. Their brain feels slow. Their mouth feels heavy. The words don't come out easily. So they stay quiet, again. If this sounds like you, don't worry. You are not alone. And you are not broken. You are simply missing the right kind of practice. The kind that prepares your mind, not just your memory. Let's take a look at the 3 biggest reasons people can't think fast or speak smart in English, even if they've studied for many years. And more importantly, let's see how to fix each one. The first big reason is this: you still think in your native language. This is very common. Many learners try to build every sentence in their own language first. Then they try to translate it into English. But this takes too much time, and in a real conversation, time is short. Your brain can't handle so many steps at once. Let's imagine a situation. You're in a cafe, someone asks you, "What do you think about this movie?" You hear the question, and your brain works like this. Understand the English question. Change it into your language. Think of your answer in your language. Translate the answer back into English. Say it. That's 5 steps just to answer a simple question. It's no wonder you freeze or speak slowly. Now think about this. Fluent speakers don't translate in their heads. They think directly in English. That's why they respond quickly. Their brain is not busy jumping between 2 languages. Their thoughts and their words are in the same place. So the solution is to start thinking in English little by little. Not full sentences at first, just small ideas. Look around you and name things in English. Tell yourself what you're doing. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm walking to the store. It's cold today. These are not big thoughts, but they train your brain to switch languages inside. Soon, your thoughts become faster, and your speaking becomes smoother. The second reason is this: you don't practice under pressure. Reading books and watching videos can help your English, but they are not enough. Because in real life, no one gives you time to think. People ask questions suddenly. They interrupt. They speak fast. And when this happens, your brain feels stress. If you've never trained your brain to handle stress, it will freeze, even if you know the answer. Think about pilots. They don't just learn about planes in books. They sit in simulators where alarms ring and problems appear. They must stay calm, make decisions, and fly the plane safely. Why? Because when real pressure comes, they are ready. Your speaking is the same. You need to train under real-time conditions. That means you should practice speaking out loud even when you're unsure. You should answer questions quickly even if you make mistakes. That's how you build real confidence. It's okay to feel nervous at first, but the more you practice under pressure, the more your brain learns, I can do this. And over time, you stop freezing. You start flowing. Now, let's talk about the third reason. You believe you must be perfect to speak. This belief is dangerous. It stops more people than grammar ever will. Maybe in school, someone laughed when you made a mistake. Maybe a teacher always corrected you in front of others. Maybe you compared yourself to fluent speakers and felt small. Over time, you started thinking, if I can't speak perfectly, I shouldn't speak at all. But this is a lie. The truth is, confidence is more important than perfection. Think about famous people who speak English as a second language, business leaders, scientists, global speakers. Many of them have strong accents. Some make grammar mistakes. But people still listen to them. Why? Because they speak clearly, with confidence and purpose. They don't stop to search for the perfect word. They focus on expressing their ideas. You must do the same. When you speak, focus on the message, not on perfect grammar, not on sounding like a native speaker. Your voice matters, your ideas matter. Even if they're not perfect, they are powerful, so to speak smart, you don't need more grammar books. You need a new way of thinking. Don't translate, start thinking in English. Don't fear pressure, train under it. Don't chase perfection, chase progress. Remember, you are not learning English for tests anymore. You are learning it to connect with people, to share ideas, and to be heard. And you don't need permission to speak. You just need courage to begin. Part 2, Simple Ways to Speak Smarter and Faster. You can start today. So now you understand the problem. You've seen why thinking fast and speaking smart in English can feel so difficult. It's not because you're not good enough. It's because no one taught you the right method. But the good news is, there are real, simple ways to improve. These techniques are used by great communicators all over the world, leaders, teachers, business people, even students. And now you can learn them too. Let's begin with the first one. Train your brain to think in English, step by step. This may sound hard at first, but don't worry. You don't have to think in full English paragraphs right away. Start small. Start easy. Wherever you are, just look around and name what you see. Say it in your mind, or say it out loud if you're alone. For example, I see a blue chair. My phone is on the table. I feel a little tired. The sky is cloudy. These small sentences help your brain switch to English mode. It's like building a new road in your mind. At first, it's slow, but the more you do it, the faster it becomes. Let's look at a true story. Daniel is a young architect from Germany. He works at a big design company. Everyone in the office speaks English. Daniel knows English too. He studied it for many years, but every time he tries to speak during meetings, he feels stuck. His mind starts in German, then he tries to translate, but by the time he speaks, it's already too late. The conversation has moved on. One day, his boss asks him, "Daniel, do you have something to add?" Daniel freezes. He feels his heart beating fast. He has great ideas, but he can't say them. He whispers something short. The meeting ends. That night, Daniel makes a decision. I don't need more English words, he tells himself. I need to think in English. So the next day, he starts a new habit. All day long, he talks to himself quietly in English. A red notebook. A big window. I need coffee. Client meeting at 3 p.m. I like this design. These are not deep ideas, but they change how his brain works. 2 weeks later, Daniel joins another meeting. This time, when someone asks for ideas, he speaks clearly. I believe we can mix modern style with warm colors to make the design feel more human. Everyone listens. His boss nods. Great point, she says. What changed? Not his vocabulary, not his grammar. It was his thinking. By training his brain to think in English, Daniel found his voice. Now let's move to the second technique. Practice answering questions quickly without planning. Most people speak better when they have time to prepare. But real life doesn't give you that time. Someone asks you something, and boom, you have to speak now. That's why practice under pressure is so important. Here's how you can do it. Choose a question. It can be something simple like, what do you like to do on weekends? Or, what's your favorite food and why? Give yourself 5 seconds. Then start speaking. Talk for 1 minute, don't stop. Don't correct yourself, just keep going. You might say the wrong word. That's okay. You might pause or repeat yourself. That's okay too. The point is not to be perfect. The point is to train your brain to move forward, not freeze. Try this every day for just 5 minutes. Soon, you'll be surprised at how quickly your ideas come out. Now let's talk about a very helpful tool, mental structure. Many people speak in a messy way. They jump from topic to topic. Their sentences are too long. They forget what they were saying. Why? Because they have no plan. A simple structure can help you sound smarter, even when you're nervous. One easy structure is this. Point, reason, example. For example, someone asks, do you like social media? You can say, point, yes, I think it's helpful but sometimes stressful. Reason, it helps me stay in touch with friends, but it also wastes my time. Example, yesterday I spent 1 hour just scrolling. I didn't even notice the time. That's it, 3 parts. Easy to follow, easy to say, and it sounds very natural. You can use this structure everywhere, in class, in meetings, or even just talking with friends. Another structure is this, past, problem, lesson. Use this when telling a story about your experience. For example, last year I worked on a team project. Halfway through, 2 people quit. We had to change everything. I learned how to manage stress and talk clearly with my team. People love short stories, and when you use structure, they understand your message better. There's also one more trick, 3-point answers. When someone asks for your opinion, you can say, I have 3 thoughts, and then list them. This helps your brain stay focused. It gives your answer a clear path to follow. These mental structures are like maps. When you have a map, you don't get lost. You feel more confident, and your listener feels more comfortable too. Part 3. Stay calm, sound confident, more speaking tips that work. Sometimes, when people try to speak fast, they think they need to say many words quickly. But this often leads to mistakes. Their sentences become confusing, their ideas get lost, and worst of all, they stop breathing. But strong speakers do something different. They speak with rhythm, they pause, they breathe, and they make people listen. So here's one very useful technique. Pause, breathe, speak. Let's say you are answering a question in class or at work. You begin to speak, but your thoughts move too fast. You feel lost. What should you do? Don't panic, simply pause. Stop for 1 or 2 seconds. Take a quiet breath. Let your brain catch up, then speak your next sentence. This small pause does many things. First, it gives your brain time to organize your thoughts. Second, it makes your speech sound clear. And third, it shows calmness. Many famous speakers use this method. If you watch TED Talks or leadership presentations, you will see that the best speakers don't rush. They speak one strong sentence. Then they pause. Then another strong sentence. This makes the message easier to follow. It also gives your words more power. For example, imagine someone asks you, "How do you deal with stress?" You could say, "That's a really good question." Pause. "I usually take a short walk or listen to calm music. It helps me relax and think better." That small pause at the beginning shows that you're thinking. It also gives you time to plan your answer. And most of all, it shows you're not afraid of silence. Silence is not your enemy, it is your tool. Another great method is called keyword anchoring. What does that mean? It means you choose 3 simple words to guide your answer. These are like anchor points for your thoughts. They keep you on track. Let's try an example. Someone asks you, "What makes a good teacher?" Before you speak, choose 3 keywords in your head. Maybe. Patience. Knowledge. Kindness. Now, use them to shape your answer. I think a good teacher needs patience. Some students learn slowly, and that's okay. They also need strong knowledge to explain things clearly. And finally, kindness is important because students learn better when they feel respected. See how that works? You didn't write a speech. You didn't memorize anything. You just used your 3 keywords to keep your thoughts organized. This technique is great for interviews, presentations, or debates. It helps you avoid confusion, and it gives your speech a strong, simple structure. Even if you forget something, you can return to your keywords. Now, here's one more trick that fluent speakers often use, but learners rarely try. Think in pictures, not in grammar. This is called visual thinking. When you want to speak, don't build the sentence word by word. That's slow. That's stressful. Instead, imagine the situation. Make a picture in your mind, then just describe the picture. Let's say you want to talk about your weekend. Instead of thinking, past tense, "I went," with friends, try this. Close your eyes and see the moment. You see yourself in a restaurant. You see your friends. You see the food. Now say, "Last weekend, I went to a restaurant with my friends. The lights were soft. The music was nice. We laughed a lot and ate great food." You didn't focus on grammar. You focused on the feeling. The picture helped the words come. This way, your sentences become more natural. They also sound more alive. Here's why it works. Your brain remembers images more easily than rules. When you talk from a picture, the words flow better. You stop overthinking. You stop correcting yourself. You just speak. And that's how real fluency begins, not from grammar books, but from real thoughts. Let's review. When you pause and breathe, your words become clear. When you use keywords, your ideas stay organized. When you use pictures, your sentences become natural. All of these tips help your brain work faster. They also help you speak smarter, even when you're under pressure. And remember, none of these require perfect English. They only require practice. Even 5 minutes a day is enough to make progress. Speak out loud. Think in English. Use these tools. Bit by bit, your confidence will grow. You'll stop worrying about your mistakes. You'll start enjoying the moment. Part 4, you already have a voice. Now it's time to use it. If you've read this far, you've already done something brave. You didn't stop, you didn't give up, you want to change. And that's the most important step. Now let me ask you something. How long have you waited to speak with confidence? Maybe it's been months, maybe years. Maybe you've learned grammar, memorized vocabulary, watched videos, and read books. But still, when the time comes to speak, your voice feels small. Your heart beats fast. You stay quiet again. Why? Not because you don't know enough English, but because you've learned to hide. You've had thoughts, but you didn't share them. You had answers, but you stayed silent. You wanted to say something, but fear held your mouth closed. Let me tell you the truth. It's not English that's stopping you, it's fear. Fear of being wrong, fear of being laughed at, fear of making a mistake, fear of not being good enough. But now think about this. What has that fear ever given you? Did it give you peace? Did it give you confidence? Did it help you connect with others? No, it only gave you silence and regret. So maybe it's time to try something new. Maybe it's time to speak even when you're nervous, even when you don't feel ready, because fluency does not come from silence. It comes from practice, from effort, from small, daily action. You don't need permission. You don't need to wait for perfect grammar. You don't need to speak like a native speaker. You just need to speak. A little every day, one sentence at a time. And as you do, something magical happens. Your fear starts to fade. Your words come more easily. Your thoughts become clearer. People begin to listen. And more importantly, you begin to listen to your own voice. You begin to trust it. Let me tell you what that looks like. You walk into a room, you don't hide in the corner, you sit where people can see you. When someone asks a question, you raise your hand. Maybe your heart is still beating fast. Maybe your palms still sweat, but you speak anyway. You say, "Let me share my idea." And you do. You don't say too much, you don't say too little, you speak clearly, slowly, honestly. You pause when you need to, you breathe, you smile. And in that moment, everything changes. People don't just hear your words, they see your courage. They feel your energy. They respect your message. This is what happens when you think fast and speak smart. You stop being afraid of mistakes. You stop overthinking every word. You stop hiding who you are. Instead, you start showing your ideas, your story, your unique point of view. And guess what? There will always be people who know more grammar, people who have a bigger vocabulary, people who studied English longer than you. But they don't have your voice. They don't have your story. They don't have your way of thinking. And that is your power. No one can take that from you. So from today on, stop waiting. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait until someone gives you permission. Don't wait until your English is perfect. Just start today now. Take 5 minutes and speak to yourself in English. Record your answer to a simple question. Talk about your day. Describe what you see. Share your feelings. Make speaking a part of your life, not a test, not a lesson, a habit. Little by little, your confidence will grow. Your fear will shrink. And your voice will rise. So speak when you're tired. Speak when your voice shakes. Speak even if you forget a word. Speak even when you're scared. Speak anyway. Because confidence isn't something you find, it's something you build. And every time you choose to speak, you are building it. Step by step. Word by word. Moment by moment. Part 5, this is more than English. This is about you. Now we've reached the end of this journey. but in many ways, this is only the beginning. Because what you've learned here is not just about how to speak better English. It's about something much deeper. It's about how you see yourself. It's about how you face your fear. It's about how you show the world who you really are. Maybe in the past, you believed that silence was safer. You stayed quiet because you didn't want to be wrong. You waited for the perfect time to speak. You waited for the right words, the right moment, the right feeling. But that perfect moment never came, and while you waited, life kept moving. So now ask yourself, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for someone to say, "You are good enough"? Are you waiting to sound like a native speaker before you speak up in a meeting? Are you waiting for more vocabulary, more confidence, more fluency? Please don't wait anymore. You've already waited long enough. You have something inside you that the world needs to hear. Your story, your ideas, your experiences. They are valuable, they are powerful, but they don't matter unless you share them. So today make a choice, a real one. Say to yourself, I don't need to be perfect. I just need to be present. I just need to be brave. I just need to speak. And once you do that, once you decide to speak no matter what, everything begins to change. You will walk into a room with your head held high. You will stop doubting your words before they come out. You will look people in the eyes and say, "Here, that's what I think." And people will listen. Because people don't listen to perfect grammar. They listen to truth. They listen to energy. They listen to clarity. They listen to you. From this moment on, don't wait for someone else to open the door. You open it. Don't wait for someone else to tell your story. You tell it. Let your silence become your past. Let your voice shape your future. Every sentence you speak is a step forward. Every word you say is a piece of progress. Every small win is part of your bigger change. And if one day you forget a word, don't stop. If someone laughs, don't break. If you feel nervous, don't hide. Speak anyway, keep going. Because strength comes from trying again and again. Fluency comes from practice, not from being perfect, but from being willing. Willing to make mistakes. Willing to sound strange. Willing to be heard. And most of all, willing to be yourself. You are enough right now. Your English is enough right now. Your voice is ready right now. So here's what you can do starting today. Speak English out loud every morning, even for just 5 minutes. Stop translating in your head. Think in small English thoughts. Use simple sentence structures. Practice answering questions quickly. Use pauses when you need time to think. Focus on connection, not perfection. Trust your message, trust your mind, trust your mouth. And remember, you don't have to be the loudest person in the room to be the strongest. You just have to speak clearly, calmly, honestly. People will notice, and more importantly, you will notice. You'll feel stronger. You'll feel braver. You'll feel free. So don't let this be just another article you read and forget. Let it be the moment you began. One day you will look back and say, that was the day I chose to speak. And from that moment on, everything changed. Because this was never just about English. This was about you. Your dreams. Your courage. Your future. So go out there and speak. Think fast. Speak smart. And never be silent again.
Hey, if you learned something new today, please give this video a like. Write your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second and it really helps to create more English videos for you. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.